So let me ask you this. Are you guys you asked me if I would run again. You going to run again? What are you guys going to do?
There's a couple of variables we'll look at. Sure. I think that we're building a solid foundation right here. I think that there is a distinct possibility that if Jen does run again, that we might actually take off this election cycle and wait till 24. I think a lot of people are also mentally exhausted about a lot of things that have gone on over the past few years. And I also think that if we're going to run against Debbie again, we are only going to do it if we really have a pathway.
We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot. It was a great experience. We built a coalition. We're still working that platform. We're using it. I still look at it as part of movement forward, win or lose. Our campaign was a service campaign. Like that was always what we were about. So for me, it's been a great experience in that and building it forward. And I feel like right now, we would need to know certain things are in line, both financially and what we talk about this a lot, but labor is a big issue here. And the stronghold that Debbie has on our local labor force is challenging.
And it's not even that,
we would need to, there's a few things that would need to fall into place for it to be strategically worthwhile.
I think it was definitely worth the experience. We got almost 30% of the vote with all things working against us. We didn't even get a chance to really dive into that. We should definitely do a podcast again at some point. And we'll talk about those things at a later date. But all things considered, I think we did a very solid job considering we really didn't know, Adam from Eve in a lot of ways in terms of how to do it.
We were kind of just flying by the seat of our pants.
When I say that Debbie is the queen of Broward politics. If you're coming for the queen, you better not miss, because a lot of people want her out, but they will not say it publicly,
won't stand up,
and they will not challenge her.
So we need to know that when I know that all the ducks are in a row, I'll know that it's the right thing to do.
I understand.
Yeah. If Nina Turner wins her election, that is going to help significantly. If
there's certain things that can make it align.
I know a lot of people don't want to hear this one. We obviously Dianne Morales would help. But you know what? If Andrew Yang becomes the mayor of New York City, that is going to help Jen. So there are just, certain things obviously need to fall into place.
But really, most importantly, money and labor.
Money and labor. And again, the last thing I'll say about labor, this is very important. Marianne, you know this as well as anybody. What I tell everyone when it comes to labor, it's very simple. The rank and file versus the board are two completely different animals. When Bernie ran for president against Hillary, every time the rank and file was allowed to vote, Bernie won the endorsement every time. When the board made the decision arbitrarily, Randy Weingarten of the teachers union, that is when the establishment ultimately gets the call. And that is the same thing here. I single out Randy Weingarten because she is somebody in particular who decided to endorse Debbie without even allowing us to go through an endorsement process, which is against the charter.
I saw so much of that.
It's rampant.
They don't even let you have and the women's groups were sometimes the worst, I found.
The only one that is good.
Won't even let me have an interview, huh, guy?
There is
feminists too.
For the feminists, that's so feminist of them.
Well, I would say the women's group that is actually really good and still has some degree of that grassroots element to them is the League of Women Voters. But when you deal with an organization, well, I'm going to say it. You don't like it. That's okay. You could call me a misogynist, sexist, all you want. But Emily's List is a great example of a group that does not have women's issues at their heart. That is not what they're there for. Just like, again, you don't want to hear it, but Planned Parenthood is one of the biggest impediments to Medicare for all. Why? Because they are a lobbying organization like any other. They make a lot of money. That doesn't mean they don't do good things for women, but they do not want universal health care, because if we had it, they would have no reason to exist.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood. I used to be a volunteer for them for years.
Yes.
Like, obviously, I'm supportive of the concept, but they adamantly work against single payer healthcare.
Well, I did not realize. I had not thought about that.
It's interesting. I didn't either, and it's unfortunate because I hate to not speak positively of Planned Parenthood, but just like some people are on your team with some things and not on your team with other things, that is one of those clear examples.
Once you have a full understanding about how all this works and you can pick off the things that you know are coming your way, they're kind of running out of ways to distract us, so to speak. It's like right now they're focusing on Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's like there's nothing to focus on there. She's a Yahoo. She wants attention. Don't give it to her. And of course, the media is going to do it because it's going to gin up ratings. But it's like the Democrats who think that they're going to run in a plus 27 R district it's not going to work. You are either going to get a non-corporate GOP candidate to run against her, or you're just going to have to deal with her, because that's how this game is. Until you fix a lot of these infrastructural problems, But we need to be strategic. That's the biggest thing. Is you can't just say I want that seat. It has to be strategic. Correct. Things have to fall. Well, Yeah. If you want to get, it's like, you're from Texas. If you want to get Ted Cruz out of the U.S. Senate, you need to build it doesn't matter how much people hate Ted Cruz. It's all about whether you build the infrastructure that needs to be in place.
Well, no, hold on. I think that there are two kinds of campaigns. For one kind of campaign, absolutely what you're saying is true. But there's another kind of campaign where the point is that you probably will not get elected, but that you're saying something that needs to be said. And there's a value to that kind of campaign as well. So that's what we did. For some of the things that I talked about in the presidential campaign, no, they were not going to let somebody coming out against the military-industrial complex talking about big pharmaceutical companies, food companies, chemical companies, reparations, environmental injustice, children, and Department of Peace. But the conversation was important and very much received by the voters, which is why the media makes sure that it was blocked as much as possible. So I think there's value there too. As someone,
I think it's incredible.
Because at this point, when I think of whether or not I would run again for anything, the value to me is in the campaigning. The value is in the giving people, you can't control where the system is going, but you can control whether or not the American people have the option of a certain kind of message.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.